Hello. I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. Oh, just trying to close my cupboard. Sorry. If you can hear the racket a little bit down below, my kids and husband are playing, and they like to be loud. That's what the basement's for, right? Okay, so today I am going to be making gingerbread balls. Now, they're really easy because it's no bake. You just need a food processor. I, however, do not have a food processor. So I use my baby bullet. It works just the same. I just try to cut up my dates really small and it works. It works really well. So as I'm recording this, I will not make you suffer when I am using the bullet to grind things up. Okay, so for gingerbread balls, we need a quarter cup of almond flour. So here we have some almond flour. I get it from the Save On Foods in the natural section. Red Mills is a lot of the natural gluten-free stuff that I tend to buy. And so I got some flour here, and then we have the old-fashioned oats. Now you can use gluten-free, but I just use the regular stuff. My daughter doesn't seem to have a sensitivity to the oats because we make we make pretty healthy oatmeal from our own ingredients, and we add sometimes this stuff. Not this particular brand, because this is the old-fashioned quick oats, but we do use I think it's called let me see. This is kind of my cupboard of spices. You can only see one level. It is Steel Cut. That's what it's called. So this is kind of my spice cupboard. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess, but it's the only way to get things hiding so it's not out in the open and a mess outside, right? Anyway, yeah, Steel Cut is what we usually use for quick oats and regular long cooking oats for our healthy oatmeal. Okay, to carry on, so we need the almond flour and the oats, and then you need a protein powder. Now, I use Shakeology, as some of you may know, and for this recipe, it asks for vanilla. So I've got the vanilla Shakeology, but you can use any protein powder that you'd like. And then you need cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and ginger, of course, ground ginger. So we've got it in this bag because the bag that it came in didn't close properly, and it just is a little bit easier putting it in there. And then also some cloves, ground cloves. So I have it here. And then, of course, the last thing that we need is the dates, the whole pitted dates. Now, I buy them like this, and then I just chop them up. And it says to have 1 cup and a quarter of a cup packed. So really, if you can, shove them in there. Don't just kind of loosely do it. Just kind of pack it in there, and there you go. That's a cup, right? And then a quarter. So being that I just dumped all those out, I'm just going to use everything that I have. There. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So I have to chop them up now. So, of course, I've got a big knife. Use whatever knife you're comfortable with. Hopefully they're nice and sharp. The sharper they are, the better, easier they are for you to use. Derek's dad is a chef, so he often berates us for not having sharp knives. But that's okay. We've learned a lot from him. Okay, so this is just part of the way that I cut them, and then I would just kind of chop them up even more to try to make it as small as you possibly can for when you put it into your food processor, or in my case, my baby bullet. I would say a blender, but I'm pretty sure that a blender won't work unless you have wet ingredients, or it won't work as well, maybe. I'm not sure. We do have a blender, but we also have a hand brawn, one of those old school brawn ones that I could try to use as well, but I'm afraid that with the sticky dates, that it wouldn't mix very well. So it's pretty close to Christmas. I wonder if anybody has still got some shopping to do, or if you're all organized. I have one thing that I'd like to get for my husband, but of course, now that he is home, it makes it more difficult to sneak away. Although, now that he's home, I should be able to sneak away without the kids, and that might make things a little bit faster and nicer. Anybody cooking dinner at their place? That'd be interesting to know. How many people are you going to have? Are you prepared? Is this your first meal you're doing on your own at your home? We are not this year. We are going to my parents' on Christmas Day to have some dinner. My brother should be there, and my brother's friend James, who is kind of like our adopted brother. He is coming in from Saskatoon because that's where he lives now. So it should be nice to see him and see how he's doing and how the weather is there for him and if he's enjoying it. Okay. So just chopping. Trying to get them as small as I can without getting my fingers chopped. Yes. Hopefully there's no accidents with this baking. Okay, so I got them pretty small, I think. I know this is the last thing on the list, but for the ingredients list. But I like to try to get the hardest stuff out of the way so that everything is easy peasy from then on, right? So, anybody have any other recipes that they would like to share? That would be awesome. I would love, home recipes from anybody. Like I said, I don't have any memories or recipes from any grandparents making anything when I was younger. Neither of my grandparents that I grew up knowing were bakers. And of course my mother isn't much of a baker. So I do have memories of doing some basic baking, which I think, is why I like to bake. But I think my love of baking really came from school when I took my cooking classes. I really have a lot of fond memories of doing the baking, and I don't know, just the sweet stuff is always what gets me. I like to cook the rest too. I do like to do other things, but yeah, baking is where it's at. Oh my goodness, that's only a quarter of it. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just going to move on though, because I'll do that when it's not on the camera. Okay, so 1/4 cup of almond flour. So I've got my 1/4 cup here. I'm just gonna take the date dust off of there. There's a few little shells in there. And I do the same thing as I did with the big flour the other day. Scoop it in. I always make sure that I put a little extra so that I can flatten it down so no air pockets get stuck in there. Okay, so I'm just going to stick it right in here. Okay, so there's the 1/4 cup of that. Sorry if you guys are having to hear all this grinding stuff. It's not a nice sound, but of all the crinkling of the bags. It's a new bag of old-fashioned oats because I used up mine. Okay, so a 1/4 cup. So we need 3/4 cup. So I'm going to do 3 of these. With this, you don't really need to flatten it so much with a knife because you can just do it with your hand against the bag. 1, 2. And 3. Okay, so that's getting a little full. Okay. And of course, don't forget to put in your shake, your protein powder. My bag is almost finished, thankfully. I do not prefer this vanilla flavor myself. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like vanilla, but I have a bit of a chocolate addiction, so chocolate is definitely my favorite. And I prefer the vegan of the Shakeologies. The pea protein has a different flavor for me. I just don't like whey so much, but that's just me. There's lots of people that do like it, and they live fine with it. Okay, so now a teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay. Here we go. And a 1/2 teaspoon of the ginger. I always find when I am playing with the ground ginger that the dust always makes me feel like I need to cough. Always. I don't know why. I wonder, like it's super fine or something about it, eh? Okay, there we go. And a 1/4 teaspoon. Oh. Yep, good, perfect. Oh, I'm starting to cough with the dust. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of the cloves. Now, because this has a flat edge on the container, I don't need to use the knife. I just can use that. And put it in. Okay. Okay, so there's that. And then you would do the pitted dates. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grind this all up, not on camera because I don't want to torture you guys with the sound. Putting that in here. And then I'm going to slowly add the dates to it to mix it all together, and it's going to form like more, it's going to solidify a little bit more. So I'll be back. Hi guys. So I just wanted to, before I put the dates in, I wanted to show you kind of what it would look like once you do put it, even in the food processor with the oats and everything. It just looks like a powder. It's all fine. It's all, you know, kind of looks like a flour mixture now, right? That kind of same thing. So what I'm going to do, because this is quite small, I'm going to dump 1/2 of this into a bowl and mix the dates in with 1/2 of it and then start transferring it over. So I'll kind of show you as I go along. Hopefully this isn't too confusing for you. So I thought I'd share a little bit. I'll just put the camera on mute so you can't hear, but you can kind of see how it looks on the baby bullet, how it's mixing it. So bear with me. I'm just going to put it on mute for a minute. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of blended it up. Get a spoon in there. And you can see it's kind of getting a little lumpy because of the dates inside there. One thing I like about using the baby bullet is that when you do need to mix it, I can just take this off and I know it's safe. The blades aren't going to turn on me. Whereas in a blender, you have to unplug it or just to make sure that it never is going to chop your finger accidentally. So I just kind of dig down right to the bottom, make sure that there's nothing sticking to the blades. If it is getting sticky, I would sometimes get my fingers in there. As you can see, my finger is a little bit coated with some of the stuff and ingredients. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix it a little bit more, and I will let you see the end result. Okay, so I've got everything all mixed up as well as I can with the baby bullet. Ooh, sounds like the toddler's coming upstairs. And so now what I usually do is get my hands involved. Make sure your hands are clean, of course. I take off my rings just so that I don't have to get it in the rings and stuff. Just bear with me one moment. I gotta go get my daughter. Okay, so we now have an addition, a new baker. Say hi, Olivia. No, she's gonna play shy. Okay, so getting my hands involved. Now that's all mixed. That's a spatula. Just so that we can kind of make it into the balls. Now I noticed that this doesn't really seem like it's got enough dates in it, so it doesn't have enough of the consistency. So in this case, I would add some raw honey just to really make those balls stay, because I'm afraid that as soon as you go to bite into them, please don't put that in there, bite into them, they would fall apart on you, because of course there's no baking involved. So I would just kind of show you here as a ball. You're supposed to refrigerate these just for an hour just to kind of set. Actually, this isn't too bad. So now that it looks like this. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. This is the ball. That's what it looks like. So once it sets, I'm sure it'll look a little bit better. And then, of course, if you go to take a bite, that's kind of what it would look like. So it's supposed to make, I believe it says 12.
I want it.
Okay. We got to refrigerate them before we let you have them. Please, sweetheart. And she's going to get her little hands in there, I'm sure, and try to get it. Sounds like the baby is hungry, so husband's bringing up the baby. So I'm just going to roll these all out into balls. Please don't bite that. I have a great listener, don't I? Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that ball.
Toddler approved, as you can see. And they're healthy for her, so I don't mind. They've got dates, and they've got her daily dose of nutrients that she needs. Not in the one ball, but yeah.
Eat it.
Okay, I'll try mine. No.
What?
No. No.
I wanted that one.
You can have this one or none. Thank you.
I want that one. I want that one though.
Nope, you can have that one. It's actually pretty good. Yes, I am recording. Husband wants to bring the baby over. She was sucking on that, wasn't she? My daughter was drinking out of.
I want water.
Now, of course, you can do everything in your house
Water.
as you see fit.
I want water.
In regards to letting your daughter touch it, or kids touch it if they want or not. But she seems to want some water, but it's not in the room with us. Okay, so it might take you a little bit of time to roll them up, just to, because mine is a little dry. I'm not sure how yours is going to be. If you had more dates, maybe it'll be a little more congealing. Please stop putting that in the bowl. Thank you.
I like it too.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Okay, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Rolling them up. They start to get a little darker in color from the powder. And I will let you see what it looks like at the end. I hope if anybody makes these that they enjoy them, and they can let me know how they taste. Okay, bye guys.